When policemen break the law, then there is no law. Only the fight for survival. And that drives me berserk!
Scissor kicking all night long.
It's Halloween, and I am dressed as Billy Jack from the film Billy Jack.
Talking about Halloweens, I saw a movie that takes place around Halloween called The Skeleton Twins.
Oh, I wanted to see that one.
It's far too dramatic. It was fine, but they really pull punches at the end.
And who is it directed by?
It was directed by Craig Johnson.
Wow!
Yes, but not me. I did not direct Skeleton Twins, because if I did, it would have been better.
Harsh words for
I know.
The other Craig Johnson.
There's another Craig Johnson, of course, and that would be the writer of Western Mysteries, which of course you'd appreciate, Billy Jack. His name is also Craig Johnson, and he wrote a book called By Any Other Name, and that kind of pisses me off. He's rubbing it in.
Alright, well, Skeleton Twins, I won't rush out to the theater to see it.
You can do bleak movies better.
Thank you, Craig Johnson. I'm sorry, Craig Johnson. I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Welcome to movie number 2 of our October trio of horror. This time, Craig got... Knock it off. Craig guessed correctly the movie that we watched last time, The Wolfman. So I let him choose tonight's movie.
Let's look back on the horror movies that we've watched for the show. We've had The Wolfman, Order of Dracula, Scanners, Eyes Without a Face, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. What do all 5 of these movies have in common?
Well, several of them have a bumbling protagonist.
Yes, but they're also all not scary.
Ghost and Mr. Chicken gave me a few chills.
Oh, you don't know chills, Matt. Not until you've seen the movie in this envelope. This time, I want to get scared. And I want to scare you. It's got the dark, and it's got very tight spaces. Let's go down, down, down to The Descent!
Ew.
Do you know this movie?
I do not want to go there.
Grown men have told me how frightening this movie is. Released in 2005 by Neil Marshall. He is the director of a movie called Dog Soldiers, but he is best known probably in the States for being the guy who directed 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. The big surprise is that it's British. The TV commercial just had women screaming, didn't have women talking.
Previews don't like to let you know that a movie is from a foreign land.
No.
They try to fool you.
Yes, even if it's England.
I think this is going to be actually scary, and I have mixed feelings about that. I don't like to be actually scared, despite the fact that I told you I wanted to be actually scared.
Welcome to hell, Matt.
Alright.
Knowing that after today's movie you're going to be abandoning your lifelong love affair with spelunking, Matt, I got you a little gift.
It's a business card.
No, it's the other thing.
I'm sorry. Oh, this rock here.
It's a fancy cave rock.
Oh, that's nice. Look
Yes.
at that.
So, won't you put your miner's helmet on, creep and climb down to the old leather couch for the 2005 horror spectacular, The Descent.
If this movie makes it so I can't sleep tonight, you will be getting a call from me.
And I will come over and scratch on your windows. The Descendants. Oh.
Beth, Sarah, and Juno are whitewater rafting in Scotland. They're 3 sporty gals who like to have adventures.
Paul and Sarah are driving back from the expedition, but Paul's acting a little weird. Sarah asks him how he's doing.
I'm fine.
And then this! Well, at least he died fine.
If you go out in the hospital and it's all deserted and all the furniture's tipped over and it looks like there was a struggle, don't open any doors. Paul and the daughter are killed.
Juno goes back to the States, not sticking around for the funeral.
A year later, Sarah and Beth, 2 of the whitewater rafting pals, go to the Appalachian Mountains in the USA to visit Juno, the 3rd pal. They're going to go cave exploring. They also meet Holly, a sassy, reckless tomboy. Oh, she is dead meat.
Yeah.
She's an iconoclast. She's either first dead or last dead.
Sam, who's studying to be a doctor. Rebecca, who's tall and statuesque and Nordic.
Here's to our adventure.
That night, they drink a bunch of beers, and they wear crazy pairs of pajamas.
Sarah has a nightmare.
Tona, keep it down.
She's not quite over the fact that she's lost her entire family.
The next day, they go out to explore the Borum Caverns.
Boredom caves, more like boredom caves.
Juno seems to think that these caverns are just for tourists. She wants to do some real exploring. So she leaves the guidebook in the car.
Rule number 1, file a flight plan and stick to it. Rule number 2, don't go wandering off.
All of these rules are going to be disregarded.
Claustrophobia, panic attacks, paranoia,
All these things will happen.
hallucinations.
She's like our horror maitre d'. It's like, this is what we'll be serving today. The gals hike through the woods, and they find the entrance to the cave.
You're having a laugh.
Afraid not.
But "Fraid Not" is the punchline to a classic joke, so I think you are having a laugh. They descend into the cave. Huh?
They go down the hole, and it's beautiful. It's got all this lush greenery. There's a bloody handprint on the wall, and off they go into the cave.
They walk around the cave exploring, they see some cool sights, but things start to get a little eerie.
This is not how I imagined it from reading the book. That's why I don't trust books.
That's why I never consult the dictionary. Or that damned thesaurus.
And they find this little tiny hole to go through.
She's gonna run into John McClane from Die Hard. I would never do this.
No?
This is not my idea of fun. My idea of fun is sitting in the cabin with the beers, laughing at pajamas.
Yes. And Sarah gets stuck. Don't worry, if you're stuck, you can last at least 127 hours.
Beth goes back and pulls her out, but there's a cave in. And now that tunnel is closed off, and they don't know where they are.
Oh, and surprise, they're not actually at Bourne Cave.
Juno has taken them into an unexplored cave.
I wanted us all to discover it.
They got spirit, yes they do, and so they go off to try to find another way out of the cave.
They encounter this really deep chasm. Don't wake up the Balrog, he's cranky.
It's huge. Listen to that drop. And there.
So Rebecca climbs across the roof of the chasm to hang ropes so everyone else can get across. She sees an old hook stuck in the wall, meaning someone else had been there before.
Everyone goes across one by one.
And Juno says, we need this equipment for where we're going. So she unhooks all the rope and she climbs across just the hooks. I don't know cave equipment, so I can't tell you what they are. Crampons? Probably crampons.
And in the next room, what should they find but huge cave paintings?
Here in the Shovi cave, these drawings have not been seen by mankind for many centuries.
Funny things happen in the background on occasion, but let's not pay any attention to that.
Holly thinks that she sees daylight. She starts running off like a maniac, falls into a pit, and breaks her leg. Ooh, it's a bad break, too. As they're helping Holly out of the pit, Sarah looks off into the darkness, and she sees some kind of creature. Gollum!
My precious.
She tells the others about it, but they don't believe her.
There's nothing there.
They haul Holly out of the hole, and they keep going.
They come across a cave full of bones. And sure enough...
Then everyone freaks out.
Gah! Holly, whose leg is in bad shape, is immediately grabbed and killed. First one gone. Prediction successful.
She finally kills one of the goblins. These things can be killed. There's hope.
Juno whips around in the darkness with her axe and stabs Beth through the throat with it.
Matt, if I'm ever fighting some sort of cave monster, don't sneak up behind me.
Nope, I won't do it.
Safe distance.
I would have died far sooner than this point. I wouldn't have made it across the chasm.
Sorry, Beth, can't stick around. And she takes off.
They all split up. The boogeymen get together to snack on Holly. Sarah sees this. She's got the night vision camera, and it's no good. Okay, Holly, we gotta get out of here, so get up. The boogeymen are out in full force. I gotta go walkies. Cue the terror. That terror arrived right on cue.
Juno catches up with Sam and Rebecca.
She says that they got Beth too. She lies.
They figure out a little something about these cannibalistic these chuds that they're fighting.
We can get out of here and we can kill these things. But I'm not leaving without Sarah. Sarah finds some equipment in the bone room where all the dead people's stuff is, and she manages to light a torch.
Torch song Killagy.
She's walking around and she finds Beth.
Juno did this to me, and then she left me here. Here's my proof. It's Juno's magic pendant.
And then Sarah has to kill Beth.
I'm not dead yet.
Bad kitty. Sarah falls into a lake of blood. Tusk! Do-na-do-da-do. Just say that you're dead now. Ooh.
And now Sarah is a warrior. There's no stopping Sarah.
Yeah, I could live here. Everybody's running around. Sam dies.
Oh yeah, Rebecca died. Forgot about her.
Sarah finds Juno.
And Sarah's like, hey, Juno, what's going on? And Juno says, oh, they're dead. All of them are dead. Is Beth dead? She's like, yeah, I saw her die. I was there. And Sarah's like, oh, that's interesting.
They encounter a gang of these crawlers, and there's a big rumble. There's biting and chopping.
There, your Trotsky impersonation.
And the eyes. She gets the eyes. Ah! Soon all the boogeymen are dead. And Sarah tells Juno, I know what you did. And she whacks Juno in the leg with the axe and leaves her behind.
Here come the slee sacks. Sarah climbs her way to the sunlight on a pile of bones. She gets outside, finds her way back to the car.
She drives up. She finds the car, she drives off. Unfortunately, she runs into a pike truck, and history repeats itself. Things are looking okay for her, but there's one last surprise in store for her. Finally, the experience is... Ah! Looks like Carrie is back in the cave. At least I have cake. Hallucinatory cake.
Hey, baby. You like being eaten by slee stacks?
Well, we have just ascended back from The Descent. What did you think, Craig?
I thought that was a great movie.
I'm not going to say it's not scary, because it certainly is, but I think it's more of an action movie than a horror movie.
The movie could have been about 6 women spelunking, because the first half of the movie was exciting enough.
This is like 2 horror movies in one, because the first half is just like nature disaster,
Yeah.
and then the second half is a monster movie.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So you get the whole spectrum.
This leads, of course, to the fact that we watched a movie in which there was only one male character, and he was dead 5 minutes into it.
Yeah.
None of them were helpless. They're all strong in their own way and useful in their own way, and it makes you wonder why Hollywood doesn't believe women can be that way.
If this was a mixed group of men and women, the whole dynamic would be different, because those characters would naturally fall into these different gender roles. So I'm really glad it was just women. And also when they make that turn of fighting back, it's not like Schwarzenegger, you know? It's realistic. It's people being pushed to their limits, and rather than breaking, they're bending and bending back.
Sarah's transformation is particularly epic. When she crawls out of that pool of blood.
It's a baptism in violence.
Yes. I was hoping it wasn't going to be a Last Girl movie, and I was hoping that, Sarah and the rest could, find their way out.
Yeah, but once Sam and Rebecca abandon Sarah, you know they're going to die.
Well,
because it's like when characters make those transgressions, they have to pay for it in the end. Of course, Juno's going to die.
Yeah.
Because she killed Beth and left her.
Is that why Juno died? That was the last straw. I realized something. Juno was sleeping with Sarah's husband.
What?
Yes. This is what I think. At the beginning of the movie, Paul is acting weird for reasons which are never explained. Why is he acting so weird?
Oh, yeah.
And then later, Juno says,
We all lost something in that crash.
Oh.
And there was like a heavier resentment. Why does Juno leave? Why doesn't she stick around for the funeral?
And Paul and Juno had a moment at the shore after the whitewater trip. I actually thought that they were the couple.
Yes. Thinking that Beth was dead and running off, that's not a crime punishable by a pickaxe to the leg. But
stealing my man.
Stealing your man and basically causing his death because he was kind of drifting off in his head when he was drifting over to the other lane because of Juno.
And it's actually a very dark ending. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is like, if you go into a cave, you're set upon by bloodthirsty beasts, you're not going to turn into a hero, you're just going to die.
It's a happy ending because she went insane before the slee sack guys got it. I've had the worst day of my life, and I'm going to go to my happy place. A little bit of trivia about the movie. The crawlers, as the director Neil Marshall called them, were separated from the rest of the cast. He never allowed them to hang out together.
Oh, sure.
They weren't CGI, it was all makeup, so take that, I Am Legend, and your totally fake people who look exactly the same.
And your bad script and
horrible
just
ending.
Being a shitty movie in general. Take all of that, I Am Legend.
And he also cast actors as opposed to stuntmen or gymnasts as you normally would, so that they would all have individual characters.
So if we can step away from this movie for a second, I want to tell you about my idea for a horror movie. You know how horror movies are often named after holidays?
Yeah.
Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, etc.
Yes.
It's called April Fool's Day. The trailer, the promotions, it's all the horror beats, the horror music, the shocks, the people jumping around. And then you go see the movie in the theater, and it's just this lighthearted romp. It still has all those shots, but they take out the music and they replace it with cheerful music. No one dies.
Yeah.
And then at the end it says, "Don't tell your friends." This movie also resembles an early H.P. Lovecraft story that he wrote when he was a boy.
His first one.
Yeah, the one in Mammoth Cave.
Yeah, and it's like 2 pages long. It's a really short story.
Yeah, or a guy goes in and he hears this creature, and he realizes that this creature has been living in that cave for lots of years.
Well, and he ends up killing it and finds out that it's a man.
Okay, final thoughts on The Descent. I am not going to go cave exploring anytime soon.
I'm surprised that I'm okay being in a basement right now.
Won't you descend down into the murky depths of the internet and follow the light that is our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all our episodes. You can find all kinds of other useful pieces of information to help you survive. And there's a PayPal donation button. You can click on that and donate to support our show. Just a few dollars will help us keep doing this show and achieve the standards of quality that you are used to.
Recent donors include
Susan, who says, "I love it when you guys watch weird movies." Michael, your discussions are as funny and thought-provoking as ever. Mark. Jake, another Mark. Catherine, who says, "My sister and her husband, Vanessa and Steven Stannard, got me hooked on beer and board games, and now I'm welcome to the basement. You've already toasted their engagement, so if you wanted to insult them to show my appreciation, I would not oppose." We don't really do that on this show. That's more of a beer and board games thing. But just this once, Vanessa and Steven, you're a couple of schmoes.
Yep, schmoes to the max.
Mitchell, who says, "You guys have taught me not only to appreciate movies more, but I have used what I've learned from your discussions on my creative writing efforts." Jonathan, your discussions are always full of respect, even in the case where you have different opinions. And I think a lot of people would learn a lot from this approach to analyzing any form of art. That's right, respect.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Get off my back.
Taya, or T, who says, "Greetings from Finland." Daniel, William, and Sarah, who says, "Guys, my brother died recently."
I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And it's been really tough, but Blame Society has really helped me smile again. My brother and I always found common ground with movies, and one of my very fond memories of him was when he sneaked me into my first rated R movie. My big sister sneaked me into a rated R movie, and it's one of the memories that I really cherish. So we're very sorry for your loss, and we're glad that we can help you in our small way. And now it's time for Seen It. Run! Run! Dean W. Minster writes, "I noticed that Craig showed a dislike for Ryan O'Neal in the episode where you guys watched Tough Guys Don't Dance. But have you seen Barry Lyndon, the Stanley Kubrick film with him in the lead role? I personally thought it was just as good as any other Kubrick masterpiece. Seen it."
Seen it.
We've talked about that movie on our show before, the fact that we watched it together. It was Craig's New Year's resolution for last year, but we never actually talked about the movie.
It's beautiful. It's one of the most gorgeous movies ever filmed.
It's a very dry historical drama, but it's a good script and it's a good story. Boy, that dueling scene towards the end of the movie is just
my God.
very tense and very well done. It was a sad experience for me because that was the last Kubrick movie for me, and there will never be any more. I've seen them all. You still haven't seen Killer's Kiss.
No, I haven't seen Killer's
So
Kiss.
you've got one more.
I've got one more. Freeman Chips asks, "The Conversation. It's the best movie of a decade full of great movies. Seen it?"
Seen it.
Matt, seen it.
It's one of the handful of movies that...
Hackman?
No. The other guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Seymour Cassell.
No, don't say his name.
John Cazale.
John Cazale.
It's one of the handful of movies that John Cazale has been in. I hope I'm pronouncing that
John
right.
Cazale, I think. But
John Cazale. Yeah. He's brilliant. He died way too young. He only did like 5 movies, and all of them are like the best movies
ever. Yeah. He did it the same year that he made Godfather Part 2, and so that might be the greatest 1-2 punch in the history of cinema.
If you really can get into the silence and the pace of it, it's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
John King. "Hey fellas, I know Matt's a Talking Heads fan, and Craig has professed his love for Stop Making Sense, also in my own top 5, so I imagine you have seen the film True Stories. If not, why not?" I don't have to answer that question because I've seen it.
Seen it.
This movie is David Byrne. Yeah. It's like David Byrne cracked open his skull and spilled it out onto a reel of film, and that's the movie.
Come walk around in my cerebellum for a while.
Exactly. Really loved the songs in this. I love the album, and I like the fact that he had the actors sing the songs. The movie is a bit too weird to be enjoyable for me.
And I loved the movie because it was so weird. It was the weird I had been waiting for. And Spalding Gray and his family explaining how commerce works is unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Nina Mulick writes, I wonder if either of you have seen Big Night, written, co-produced, directed by, and starring Stanley Tucci. I count it as up there with those other beautiful food films. Seen it!
Seen it.
This movie will make you hungry for weeks.
Yes, and it will make you want to listen to nothing but Louis Prima for a while, too. If you didn't think it was fun watching people cook, watch this movie. It is like watching a ballet.
You must bite the ass of life! I believe someone says at some point.
Yes.
I was walking around in New York one day, and I believe I passed Stanley Tucci on the sidewalk.
You did? I saw Tony Shalhoub at the protests, back when we had the protests against Scott Walker. I saw him from like 30 feet away. Without even thinking about it, I'm like, hey, Tony! He turns and he's like, and I'm like, hi. And I'm like, what the hell did I do? And it's like, when I see famous people, I'm really good at holding it together. Michael Harrington writes, I would love to see you guys watch Crumb, the 1994 Terry Zwigoff documentary. Seen it.
Oh yeah, seen it.
It's not just about R. Crumb, the comic book artist, but also
about his weird and troubled family.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, he got out.
I really wish that I could take a pile of my old notebooks and sell them and buy a villa in France.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. I got a lot of old notebooks.
I do too.
If you want to buy one, contact us at Welcome to the Basement, P.O. Box 2702, Madison, Wisconsin.
Where the going price is one villa in France, or, in a pinch, Tuscany. I have a pile of old journals. They go back to the year 2000. I will take an estate in Spain. But not the dry parts, the lush parts.
But back to Crumb.
It's a pretty good movie. That's Seen It.
And that's our show. I'm going to put my hat back on, my Billy Jack hat. This means I'm ready to dole out some justice. Thank you so much for joining us for the scary movie, The Descent. We hope that when you turn the lights off tonight when it's bedtime, you don't get visited by creepy crawlers.
Yes.
Go to welcometothebasementshow.com. Check out that business there. Click on the PayPal little dingy and give us a few dollars.
Like us on Facebook, and you can find out stuff about us sometimes.
We will see you next time. Our next episode is going to be on October 31st, Halloween. We're going to watch one more scary movie, and I get to pick it. If you want to find out what it is, join us next time.
See you around, creeps.
Bye.
Bye.
You better hurry up, ladies. You got a golem after you. His precious was that hook that was stuck in the rock, and they took it. He's a golem who's a climbing enthusiast,
yes,
rather than a ring bearer.
Extreme golem.